And then the big selling point of this state of play was the 10 minutes almost demo of Deathloop.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of this demo?
Okay, so it actually turned me off a little bit of it. Like I was kind of riding the high of Deathloop, and like I didn't want to hear any more about it. And this 10-minute demo kind of knocked me back a peg, if I'm going to be honest. Like, it still looks interesting. I like the mechanic of it. It really feels like a roguelike to me. Like the death concept, and you're in a loop and all that crap. And I'm like, this is just a first person roguelike. So we're just getting another Returnal, but just stylized different. And I still like the idea of that you have to go and kill 6 or 9 people on this island.
Yeah.
And you have to learn how to do it. And I'm assuming there's obviously no right way to do it, but I'm assuming like you're going to get comfortable doing it one way comparative to how I'm going to do it. And I think that's going to be, I think if this game hits, it's going to be the idea of like how you and I talked about Hades, and like, oh no, I played this way and I beat Hades, and you played it this way. And then you can kind of start like, oh, okay, let me see what Finn said. He did this. Let me try that. And you get this idea of like, you're able to try out the different styles of gameplay and whatnot.
Wow.
So that's where this interests me. I like the what's her name? Juliana.
Yes.
I like that little tick of it's either AI or someone else is coming into your game trying to kill you. I think that is genius and gives just this weird, oh crap, is she around the corner concept? Like it's always being hunted. Like you're the hunter minus you're being hunted as well. And I like that dichotomy of this game.
Mm-hmm. I think the reason that it turned you and so many people up with this demo is that we have seen it like 13 times. And it feels like we've been given the same pitch around 13 times. And it's because every time we see it, a number of questions arise. And like we want to know more about like how this game works, like on a really fundamental, specific level. And Arcane clearly at this point do not want to give away some secrets of their games. They want you to just like go out and fucking play it. Like we know the elements they do keep showing is the stuff we know about Arcane with Dishonored, like the tight gameplay focus on kills and moving around the map and stuff. So like they keep showing that. But despite that, I think after seeing this game so much, I'm 80% confident that I know what this game is now.
Nice.
So like you mentioned, it's a roguelike. They have specifically iterated on multiple occasions that this is not a roguelike. They're trying to dissuade comparisons of that. And the reason they cite is because there's no like progression system other than the knowledge you gain from just playing the game. And that's like you as a player doing that. And also like the map stays the same. It's not dynamic. It's not randomized. But also there's a caveat to that because you have this thing called Residuum, which does have the like some elements carry over between loops. I'm trying not to call them runs because they hate that's a roguelike term.
Yeah, they're not runs, they're loops.
And it is this thing where, you know, they did talk a little bit more about Juliana this time, and like the first time basically revealing that she is one of the 8 people you're trying to track down. She's a little bit more of a dynamic one. And again, it's the only comparison I can make, but I picture it when you're playing Hades, right? So like Hades has these rooms where like he'll give you a challenge and like try and fuck up your day. I imagine playing through the game Hades, but Hades is also like tracking you down actively, and like he'll just chase you between rooms if you don't do it fast enough. So that's what I'm trying to picture Juliana as. But also it's this thing where it's like the maps don't change, but they have said before that the things that the targets will do change. So like sometimes they'll be here, but sometimes they'll be elsewhere, another party. And so like you have to think like, okay, is this a roguelike? I'm not entirely sure.
So assets in the level are changing. Okay, so we don't have to call it a roguelike. That's fine, or roguelike. But there are enough roguelike elements for me to make the comparison, and I'm not making it to Hades or anything like that. I just the idea that I am learning how to do something to progress the game, even if I don't have power-ups, or even if I don't carry anything over through that. And that's fine. I don't really care. That to me, that's not a a concept that I need to actually that is it's the definition of roguelike, but I don't need it to go for me to register. Okay, there is roguelike elements in this, and I'm a dude that can teleport with a gun, and I'm an assassin, I'm a hitman, then I have to kill 8 people, and every single time I die, I learn, okay, don't be there, or this person's gonna do this, and I'm gonna keep an eye out for that person, even if they're in a different part of that same section of the game. So I see what they're trying to do, and I'm also like, but really? You're just trying to stay away from the comparison of the beauty that is Hades. So,
yeah. Again, the Juliana thing just still weirds me out, because that was the initial...
You and I can go after each other, let's be honest, like randomly.
Well, yeah, but like how, again, like they specifically, and I wonder if that's going to hurt them in the end, John, like the fact that they will not explain this game, I wonder, is it going to hurt them when it comes to sales? It is like a weird thing for Arcane to do, like straying from the formula. But like with Juliana, I wonder if like, is that the post game? So like I've done my run as this guy, and so like if I want to play the game again, I can only play as Juliana and fuck up other people's games. But isn't that going to be really hard for like a first timer to go through the whole loop and trying to figure out the game, and like you've got a person who's really good at it that's trying to fuck you constantly? And then like I assume the intention is to have it be a player on an ideal setup.
Yeah.
But I feel like the AI is there for like, so you can still play this offline, you can still play it in single player, whatever.
Yeah.
But maybe it's a thing where it's like, hey, if I'm like really bad at games, I want it on easy mode or whatever, I can just turn off the online functionality, and then I know Juliana's an AI. But also it's weird because like she's integral to the story, and they have this back and forth banter a lot, and they show this off in the demo, and like so say my idea is right, Juliana is the post completion aspect of the game. Am I going to constantly hear the same banter if I'm invading other people's games?
Yes.
Or maybe it's a thing where Juliana is there from the start, and like from the main menu you can go, I want to play my campaign, or I want to go straight into fucking people.
I could have swore we saw the beginning of the game, and when they first announced it, or the second time they showed it off at an E3, they're like, you can choose who you want to be. I could have swore that was a thing, but I might be wrong. But you can jump in and be Juliana and mess with other people's games. That
would make sense, right? If the game was hunt down these 8 targets and you're trying to do it faster than each other, right?
Yeah.
Like, so we're part of that, we're working to the same goal, but we're also trying to compete and do it faster and like kill more targets. But Juliana is one of the 8 targets, and so you have to kill her as well. And so she's not trying to kill the other targets. Her specific goal is to constantly track you down. It's so bizarre, and I hope that, like, I have a feeling that they know what they're doing, right? Arcane. But I wonder, is this going to kill it in review scores? Because we know Arcane's combat, their gameplay is tight, focused. We know this from their pedigree as a studio. But I wonder, are all these extra elements that they haven't been able to explain in a way that we understand, is it going to be too confusing for reviewers? Is it going to bog down the really good elements of the game, which is the combat? I've no idea. I'm worried about this game, but also excited for it, if that makes sense. It's so weird.
Sorry, I'm on Game Rant right now trying to see if I can get any sort of players will have the option to play Julie.
This is the thing. Okay, go ahead.
Players will have the option to have Jules played by a second player character who will be tasked with disrupting their plans and resetting the loop. In this sense, the second player's knowledge of the game may stand in for Jules' knowledge of past loops, while the unique ability of human enemies to form new tactics could make the in-universe rivalry between Colt and Jules feel all more real. Jules has found herself in a very interesting position, blah, 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 blah. No, it doesn't say anything like, can you start off as Jules?
Yeah. And so, like, again, we've seen this game a million times, but yet you're still looking up answers to questions you have. And it's because Arcane are dodging those questions, like, vehemently. And so, I wonder, it's a brave decision. It's bold to just say, we have a concept for a game, we do not want to spoil it. If you want to know more, get it in your hands and play it. I
How
wonder how
mind-boggling is this going to be? Like, or are we getting into like a Christopher Nolan concept of video game where like we don't know, there's something crazy going to happen, but we just don't know what it is?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
I feel
I'll be absolutely honest. I didn't think of any of that. And so now you have made me more confused by what this game is.
Yeah, the whole Juliana thing was that I get the combat, I get that it's a roguelike that's not a roguelike. Juliana as a mechanic is weird. If it was just an AI that was like a smart, like say it's like Hello Neighbor, where it's like an AI and it just like gets better with like people playing across the world, that I would understand more than a player doing it. Because once you add another player into the mix, everything gets confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have broken my mind, my friend. I really didn't think about that concept of like how does Jules actually fit into this? Because I always thought you could play her at the very beginning and you were hunting someone on that end, but that doesn't make sense in game.
Yeah, John, like the game I had in my head initially until this state of play was, again, the thing I described where it's like, I'm Juliana, you're the other guy, and we just bought the game, we're playing it on lunch day at the same time, and we're trying to compete against each other to hunt down as many targets as we can. And say I get 5 targets, I win. And you have to like start from the beginning again or whatever. But playing again, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
It's just very weird.
It interests me enough that I really want to know more, and I haven't picked up this game yet, or like pre-ordered it yet. Now I'm kind of like, man, I really kind of want to jump into this real fast and see what this game is.
Yeah, but it might do better for sales. The fact that like you're so intrigued, it might encourage people to go out and buy it. But I feel like, again, this is Arcane Studios, Xbox Game Studios now, but this is a PS5 exclusive. I feel like if this game was on Game Pass, people would be much more willing to just go, hey, you know what, whenever it's out, I'll play it. It'll be there on my Game Pass subscription anyway. I don't have to fork over another $70 just to get the answers to my questions.
It's going to kill me because I think it's coming to Game Pass in September 2022.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay, so that's
I don't think it's. I think it's console. Yeah, it's got a year on its exclusiveness to PlayStation. And then I'm pretty sure I read it's September 2022 that it'll be on Game Pass. So it's like, do I wait?
I think it would behoove Arcane to get preview copies in the hands of games journalists as soon as possible.
Yes.
Like, all I want is the Kotaku headline that says, I played Deathloop, it's not as weird as you think. And then I don't even have to read the article at that point. Like, I'm in. That's it. See, I just need people to like figure that out for me so I know if I'm in or not. But anyway, I'll leave that with you to consider from between now and September. It's releasing, I believe.
Yeah, September. The end of September 22nd is what's popping in my head right now. I don't know if that's correct, but yeah, August or September.